What is this mystery Tesla? It's got to be a newer model because it's got no chrome on it. It kind of looks like a performance model. It's got the dark wheels. It's got the spoiler. Oh, but it doesn't have the badging on the back, the performance badging. Oh, and it doesn't have the red brake calipers on it. And the wheels are black. I think the performance models back in the day were like dark gray. What is this model? What could it be? And why are we showing it today? Wait, even the inside has the performance pedals. What is going on with this car? I don't get it. Keep it here, we'll let you know. This is my 2019 Tesla Model 3 SR Plus. We bought it brand new, 0 miles on it. Well, okay, it had 15 or so miles on it. Now it has 50,000 miles, and I'm gonna take you through every little detail of our 4+ years of ownership, what's gone wrong, what's gone right, how it's holding up, and more. This is Tesla Tips and Trips. As you can see, our 2019 Tesla Model 3 SR Plus is at 49,999 miles. And my guess is it's going to be flipping over here in about a mile. There it goes, 50,000 miles, twice around the earth. This car, wow, so cool to see that flip right before our eyes. 50,000 miles, our Tesla Model 3 SR Plus. So many memories, so many road trips. We bought this thing new, and there we go. So very cool. All right, let's continue on with the rest of the video of our 50,000 mile review. Hey, are you in there? Oh, I see you. There you are, right there. I can see you. Well, now that I've got your attention, hit the subscribe button. You've gotten this far into the video. It means the world to the channel. It takes seconds out of your day, and it puts a smile on my face and makes you feel warm and fuzzy. All right, 50,000 miles is a huge milestone for any car, and I wanted to take you through the process of how our ownership has gone over the 4+ years that we bought it. We bought it in May of 2019, so it's 4 years and change. It's beyond its warranty already, so the 50,000 mile mark wasn't really an issue. It was based on the 4-year mark that the warranty has expired. But don't worry, the battery and the powertrain is still under warranty for quite a while longer. It's just the basic bumper-to-bumper warranty that has expired. So everybody wants to know, how is the front end holding up? In my opinion, the paint on this Model 3 from 2019 is far better than our 2022 Tesla Model Y. I'm not exactly sure why, but it is, and it's been holding up well. So here's a look at the front nose. Not too many rock chips, to be honest. I just washed this car, so you could kind of see, oh, here's one right here. And the weird thing about this one, you can see it right there, that happened like on week 2. And I still haven't really fixed it or anything like that. And that was kind of like the badge of honor. I was like, okay, well, it's already damaged, no big deal, right? I mean, look at this thing, it still looks brand new. It's nice and shiny. Of course, I just washed it. You know what's also interesting to me is the headlights. They are, I mean, obviously, as I show you, there's a scratch there, but you know, usually they're kind of fogged in at this point, 4 years. They look brand new. Still looks pretty good. How about the windshield? We have not had one single problem with this windshield. Everybody complains about rock chips and stuff like that. Oh, sure, we've got little ones here, you know, but nothing major to speak of. Has not been replaced. There's the logo of the Tesla logo to kind of prove it. Nothing wrong with the glass of any kind, actually. It's been holding up pretty well. I, of course, have done a chrome delete on this car, so that's why it looks newer than it is, because this car did originally come with chrome. My local shop did a great job, Auto Skins in Santa Clarita. Did the full chrome delete, including the doors. They say it lasts about 5 years, so I should be actually due for a new refresh on that. I, of course, have powder coated these wheels. They did not come this way. They came with that silverish finish. And I love the fact that I powder coated them. They look way better. Originally, I did Plasti Dip, and that lasted about 1.5 years, and then it started showing its age. The powder coating is holding up really well. In fact, I don't think there's any damage in terms of rock chips or anything hurting it. Oh, there was one piece of damage. We did have one issue. Where is it? I can barely find it now. I think it's here. We had a big piece of metal. Yeah, it's right here. Maybe you can see it. A big piece of metal gashed this bottom right here. In fact, it's about, I want to say 8 inches long. And so what I did was I contacted Auto Skins, speaking of them, because I trust them, they trust me, and said, look, I have this gash in my rocker panel, and I'm not looking for perfection here for the repair. I'm just looking to make it less noticeable as I walk up to the car. And they said, yeah, no problem, we'll take care of that. Just get the touch-up paint. And they did a bang-up job. I mean, I could see it because I know where it is, but it used to be a white gash and very, very noticeable. Of course, we've got the Tesla tips and trip stickers on it. We've got a aftermarket spoiler on that. We've got a plastic dip logo. I took the logo off the front of the car. I just like the cleaner look. I think it's better. Model 3 license plate frame. That's aftermarket. I'll put all the links down in the description. Ooh, what's this? That's new. Huh. It's coming up with my finger, so I don't know. Whatever hit it, you can see it coming off with my finger. I'm not sure what that is. So in terms of wear and tear, in terms of paint, in terms of, like, this area is common for people to have issues. I mean, it's still nice and smooth. It's still nice paint. Of course, we live in Los Angeles. I get it. People living in winter areas have to deal with winter conditions and salt and rocks in the snow and all that stuff. And I get that's a different situation than we have in Los Angeles. But overall, at the end of the day, it's a 50,000 mile car. I had it tinted, of course, and everybody wants to know about the tint. I got 5% in the rears and the back window. That's all 5%, or basically limo. And then I got 15% just so I have a little more visibility at night on the front 2 windows. No, it's not legal. I know this, so save your comments. The entire back of the window, and I totally recommend you get this whole thing done, because obviously the factory has tint to about here, and then it doesn't have tint down below here. Obviously you're seeing solar panels from above kind of reflecting off, but do the whole thing. Now you will see on the inside of the car, you will see this section as having less tint, but from the outside you can't see it. Still looks really good. No bubbling. Have it done by a great shop professionally and you will be happy. I've seen tint jobs out there, back windows all bubbled and cracking and falling off, and this was done about 2 weeks after I bought the car. So it's about the life of the car, 4+ years. California sun definitely reduces heat. Yes, I did the roof. So this is all ceramic tint, 3M ceramic tint all the way around. Roof, back window, back passenger window, all that stuff. The only thing I did not tint was the windshield. Not sure why, might have been cost. I just never got around to it. If you're wondering about tinting the roof, yes, of course, you could still see out. I did the roof at 50%. I don't think I mentioned that. And there's how you could see, like I was mentioning, the back. You could still see the factory, that bottom portion there. Now that is done aftermarket at 5%, but you can't see that from the outside. So that whole back panel is 5%, but you could still see that it's darker on the top because there's not only factory tint, but also aftermarket tint. But it smooths itself out on the exterior side. It still looks fine. So again, 50% on this little roof portion. Model 3 has 2 roof sections, and then we've got this middle bar. The Y does not have that middle bar. It's just one giant piece of glass. So I did this portion 50% and that portion 5%, and then of course the rears for the passenger and this passenger, those are also 5%. And then looking out of the 15% on the side looks like that. During the day, it's really not a problem. Kind of gotten used to it. At night, yes, I will admit, at night, it's pretty dark. And you do really have to be a little more careful. You do have to look more for headlights. Although for some reason lately, I've seen people driving around with no headlights on. And if I didn't see them on this screen, you know, on the side of me, I probably would have wrecked a couple of times. I don't know what it is, the people not, you know, putting headlights on. It's weird. Oh, of course, the spoiler. Yeah, we did the spoiler, which I'm not happy with. I've done this spoiler a couple times, and as you can see, it's still lifting up. I mean, even the factory one on our Y keeps lifting up on the edges. They really need to make it a little shorter so it grabs better on this side's. No, this one's coming up too. This is a Tasmanian one. I'm not saying it's a bad one. I've tried several different attempts at getting it right, measuring and everything. It should be dead on. It should be grabbing, and it's just, I think it's too big. I think it should come to, see this line here on the car? I think it should come to there. So tires, next on the list. We talk a lot about tires on this channel. And so this is actually the second set in the life of this car. However, they have been purchased at separate times in sets of 2 because I had a couple of nail issues, and one tire finally got 2 nails in it, and you really shouldn't be patching and repairing more than once. So I decided to replace 2 at that time. Then the second set had to be replaced due to age. They were just at I want to say 40-some thousand miles. The rears here, in fact, I need to rotate them. So now we've got Falcons on this thing, and I kind of like it. I kind of like the Falcons. They're lasting pretty long. The Continentals were okay. The Falcons have a more aggressive look, I think. The Continentals, not so much. So in that regard, in terms of the inner foam, everybody likes to talk about the inner foam on these things and how much quieter of a ride you get. And honestly, I don't notice a difference. I don't notice a difference at all. Let's take a look at the brakes. 50,000 miles. We should be getting a brake job, right? Nah, dude, this is a EV. I mean, these are like brand new. Look at that. No signs of wear whatsoever. Looking pretty good. The reason why EVs tend to last a lot longer with brakes, in fact, some go the life of the car without getting a brake job, is because most of the braking is done with regen on the motor. So if you are taking advantage of that, your brakes should last a long time as well. Let's take a look at the driver's side. Obviously, we're not taking this stuff apart and really getting into it and taking a look, but just at first glance, last time I had a Tesla tech doing something, I think it was on my Model Y, I had him take a look at both cars. He's like, yeah, brakes are like brand new. They should last the life of the car, and they are definitely looking good. I did have one recall situation with this car. It had to do with the rear lights and camera not working. And you can see here, let's take a look right here. This bends, this cabling system with this conduit bends every single time that you open and close this trunk. And originally they came out for the recall and they just put like a piece of plastic here and said, yeah, that'll do it, that'll fix it. Sure enough, a couple months later, I go to back up the car and no backup camera. I have somebody sit in the car, I take a look, no brakes, no brake lights, no nothing. This whole thing was dead. I mean, everything back here was dead, license plate, light, and everything. So they came out again, did the recall, and this time they did it properly. And man, I thought, oh, this would be a simple thing to do. No, this whole panel had to come off, like the back seat panels had to come off. There's this huge wiring harness that lives in this part of the car, and it was this huge, I think I have a picture of it. Maybe I'll show it here if I can find it. But just this huge wiring harness that spans like this entire back of the car. And ever since then, it's been good. So pretty easy. Up next, let's take a look at the interior wear. And at 50,000 miles, it's definitely seen its share of getting in and out of the car. I've got a wife and 2 kids. We road trip the heck out of this car. It definitely sees its share of wear. But the main thing that most people want to see is, of course, the driver's seat. Now, some of these wrinkles, I think, were original, but obviously this is going to take the bulk of the abuse, getting in and out of the car, sliding in and out of the car, and I think that's acceptable. We've got a crease here, some creases here, but I mean, this is mainly, if you compare it to this side, obviously after 50,000 miles, this is going to see the bulk of that. And I'm kind of okay with that. The main thing you want to look for is stitching, and it's holding up fine. I mean, these seats still look pretty darn good after 50,000 miles and heavy abuse. We use this car to, I call it kid taxiing. I'm sure others do as well. So every day, you know, soccer, taekwondo, baseball, after school stuff. I mean, in and out of the car, pick up, drop off. I mean, it's just crazy. Got the Tasmanian floor mats in there. I did put the performance pedals on it. I just like the look. You know, I'm not looking to say, hey, I got to pretend performance. Well, okay, maybe there's a little bit of that going on. So got that. How about the back seats? Back seats, obviously, the kids takes the most abuse. Doors are holding up nicely. I mean, in and out of the cars. The back seats here, these look great. I mean, these look brand new, aside from being dirty. I did wash the car. I didn't get around to vacuuming it. But again, lots of beach trips, lots of sunscreen, lots of every kind of abuse you can think of. Snacks, food, and the back seat looks pretty good, I think. Oh, one thing that has shown its wear is maybe I have a pointy elbow or something, but you can see this kind of distortion right here. That's just my elbow. After 50,000 miles, it's actually not too bad. I'll take that. It's, you know, it's the way it goes. Now, the car did deliver with a weird thing going on with the dash. Let me take you around the other side. It does seem to kind of level off in the summer, so I think it's heat related. Right here, I've noticed some bubbling. Actually, it's not there now. So I don't know if you have this problem, I wouldn't worry too much about it. It does seem to just go away. So yeah, I thought it was like right in this section right here, there was some bubbling when I first got the car. Oh, another thing when I first got the car, of course, this is on the outside of the car. I mean, look at the inside, it looks pretty good, right? We've got the same kind of marks here and here. But again, in and out of the car, this is, you know, a passenger seat that gets used heavily. This is our main road trip car, but looking pretty good. Of course, I got rid of the piano black early on and did a rubberized matte black here, and I like it. Same thing for the dash. I wasn't a fan of the wood, although there's some companies out there that make some pretty decent looking wood now. And also wood for the sides on the newer models. There's a wood panel here, but this door doesn't seem to have the elbow effect, let's call it that. So that one's doing well. So when I first delivered this car, there was a dent, brand new, out of the box. Well, I don't think they come in boxes, but right here. Was it right here or on the other side? No, I think it was right here. I think I have a photo. If I do, I'll throw it up on the screen, but it was a dent right here. And on the day of delivery, I asked, you know, can we take care of that? They said, absolutely, no problem. We'll make an appointment. They made an appointment about 3 weeks out and fixed it good as new. All right, so after 50,000 miles, something has to have broken. Something must not work. Something has got to be defective. No, not really. Everything still works. I don't believe I've done any other warranty issues with this car. The buttons for the doors work, the locks, the windows, they still go up and down, no problem. Everything still feels kind of tight, although I will say that even from brand new, this car is a little more rattly than my 2022 Model Y, but it's kind of still the same. It hasn't really changed much. Doors still, I mean, I got a bottle in there, so you really can't tell, but doors still close really solid. The driving still feels like brand new. Oh, steering wheel, let's take a look at that. When we're doing videos like this, you really want to show the major points of wear because they're just touched a lot. They're just used a lot. It's, you know, that's how it is. And one of those things, we already touched on the front seat, is the steering wheel. And I can tell you that it's still looking pretty good and feeling pretty good. We do have some weird, like, it might even be dirt, because I don't really clean my windshield, or my steering wheel too much. But a lot of times, I think this portion of the steering wheel takes a lot of abuse. On the left side of the logo here, we've got the logo here in the center, so on this side, and mainly that's, you know, getting in and out of the car, your belt hits it, whatever, and it's still holding up pretty well. I've seen some of the yoke steering wheels and they're, you know, peeling and falling apart. You can even look at the stitching right there is looking pretty good. Let me take you on the other side. You can see the stitching here. It's overall, it's holding up after 50,000 miles. It looks and feels really good. I've shown you what I've done to the outside of the car in terms of aftermarket and accessories and mods and that sort of thing, but how about the inside? Well, obviously I have some relationships with accessory manufacturers and makers. Some of the stuff I've gotten for free. I showed you the center console. I got rid of the piano black. I put the performance pedals on. I did the wood delete, I guess you can call it, on the dash. Oh, my favorite by far Tesla accessory is the MagBak. I use this every day, all day, on and off. Just keeps my phone nice and charged. It looks like it's built in, which is awesome. And I've got one of these on both of our Teslas, and we use them all the time. Fantastic product from MagBak. We've got a link down in the description. Of course, we get a little kickback from that, but you also get a discount code for that. So check that out if you're interested in a great, faster charging too, accessory from MagBak. All right, so how about maintenance? What do you have to do with a Tesla in terms of maintenance? Obviously, with gas cars, you got oil changes and filter changes and tires and all that kind of stuff. Well, I've had basically 2 maintenance issues, and that are tires. That's probably the most expensive maintenance thing you're going to do with your Tesla. And then, of course, the interior air filters, which freshens up the smell every couple of years, maybe less. I think I've done it every year and a half. That starts smelling like dirty socks or vinegar, or we've heard all kinds of different terms. You got to change out the filters, but more than that, you can't just change the filters. You've got to use the Cool It product to clean out the coils and stuff. It's a spray. Tesla in recent years has gone from charging like $70 for this service. Now it's all the way up to almost $200. So I don't recommend that. We will be doing a video at some point on this channel. There's a lot of other videos on YouTube about how to do the filters. The Model 3 is a little more difficult than the Model Y to do the filters, because you got to take apart the glove compartment area and then the side panel. I think on the Y, I've seen Tesla do it, and they just pull out the panel, throw in the filters, do a little spray, and then all of a sudden your credit card's charged $200. Now, I was lucky on our Y. We were able to do it at a Tesla event, and they just charged materials cost, which was fantastic because it was a Tesla ownership group situation. So if you can find one of those in your area, and Tesla is actually there, they had a crew of like 4 or 5 people there just changing out filters, doing basic maintenance, windshield wipers, and they were doing it at cost. All you had to do was pay for the items, so the filters and the spray. And I think I paid, I want to say $44. It was great. It was fantastic. But most people are going to have to do this on their own, or if they don't know how, you're going to have to pony up the bunny. Unfortunately, it's about $200. $185 was my last quote. I did it recently just to see, and I'm like, you know what? I'll buy the $17 filters. It's $17 a filter. You need 2 of them, and you need the Cool It product. I think it was $50-some total, and it's in my garage. I got to do it soon because it's starting to smell. I did want to show my lifetime stats, but I just remembered that during one of the recent software updates, I want to say about 6 months ago, it wiped everything out. I was so bummed because I had one of these set up as since delivery, and one day it just, everything was gone. I had to relog into my profile. I mean, it was a sad, sad day. But you could see here, just to give you an idea, on trip A, this I think is our longest running one, Kid Taxi Week. I just wanted to see how much I actually drive. Clearly that's wrong. I just never reset it. You can see our odometer is now at 50,089 miles since we did the 50,000 turnover video. So at 7,437 miles, used 1,796 kilowatt hours, and not too bad, 241 watt hours per mile. That's pretty good. And this is a single motor, like I mentioned, 2019 SR Plus, and the rated range was 240 miles. And in terms of degradation, it's now charging to about 210 miles, of which we probably get about 185, 190 miles real world. So that's a separate video. Of course, we'll be doing that. We still use the heck out of it on road trips. A recent video, we had a little, range anxiety, but that was made up because there was like 50 chargers between our starting location and our destination. I kind of keep it at 75% thereabouts. People are going to ask how much this thing is supercharged. It gets supercharged a lot. In fact, we have a running list. We have, I want to say, 115 supercharger separate location visits. Now that does include rental cars in Europe and Hawaii, and our Y, so it's separate a little bit, but this car has done the majority of the supercharging on our road trips. For whatever reason, we bought the Y for road tripping because it had more space, and we're still using the 3. mainly because my wife uses the Y for commuting, and she's racking up a ton of miles on it. So at the end of the day, we're going on a trip, and we're like, let's just take the 3. So anyway, lots of supercharging. I don't really adhere to the belief that supercharging is noticeable long term. I have a feeling I'll be getting rid of this car way before supercharging is even a factor. So you know what? I'm going to use this car. I'm going to use the one of the most, you know, sought after features of owning a Tesla is the supercharging network, especially for road trips. So yeah, I'm going to use it. I'm going to use my car, you know, charged to about 75%. I don't even plug in every night. You know, some people think that's a must. Always have it charging, always have it plugged in. The Tesla gods say so. Well, guess what? I don't charge it every night. I don't plug it in all the time. I plug it in when I want. I use my car. I supercharge my car. And honestly, I don't think you're ever going to see it or notice it in the lifetime of your ownership of the car. You could do whatever you want with your car. You can adhere to those rules if you like, but I'm just letting you know what I do with my car. I'm just using it. I don't want the car to control me. That's the basic function of a car, is we get to control how we use the car, and that's how I'm using mine. Supercharge it, don't supercharge it. Charge to 100, don't charge to 100. So far, this car is holding up great. There you go. That is my review of my beloved 2019 Tesla Model 3 SR Plus. 50,000 miles. Man, I can't believe it's been that long. And most of those miles, by the way, are road trips. We road trip this car heavily. Santa Barbara from LA, Zion, Utah, tons of Vegas, tons of Mammoth, tons of San Diego, San Francisco a bunch of times. This car has done it all and has done it flawlessly. I don't remember any issues on road trips whatsoever. Supercharger network on par. We supercharged this car heavily, like I mentioned, not a problem. It's been a great road tripping car. I work from home for the most part, so this car is all about the road trips. And at 50,000 miles, I think it's holding up pretty well. So, what do you think of my 50,000 mile review? Is there something I missed? Is there something you want to know that I might not have covered? Well, hit me up down in the comments. I'll be happy to answer any of your questions. I love the questions we're getting lately, and I love the comments. It's been fantastic to interact with you. A lot of YouTubers, they don't really interact much on their comment section, and I kind of like to do that. So if you've got something to ask about how these cars are holding up after 50,000 miles, that's the point of this video, is to kind of show a prospective buyer and maybe a current owner with, say, 15,000 or 20,000 miles on their car. How are they going to hold up long term? How are they going to hold up beyond the warranty? That's the area we're about to head into now. This car is out of its basic bumper-to-bumper warranty, the 4-year, 50,000 mile warranty. Of course, the battery and drivetrain are still covered under a longer warranty, but how are these things going to hold up long term after that? So this car is going to be a perfect example of that. And of course, anything comes up, anything crops up, whether it's maintenance or something breaks or whatever with this car, of course we're going to make a video. I mean, we make videos on everything. In fact, somebody asked me to make a video on, can you show me how to use the steering wheel? No, I think for that one, you're on your own. I think it was on our video on where the hazard lights are. And it took me a while to figure out where it was when I first got this. Where are the hazard lights? Because you're looking on the screen. You're trained. Everything's on the screen. So the hazard lights must be on the screen. Well, no, it's a federal mandate that's got to have a button. And it's above the mirror here between the two lights. And there's a red triangle. So there you go. If you like what we're doing here on the channel, I love doing stuff like this. Feel free to hit the like button, the subscribe button. It means the world to the channel. I know every single YouTuber out there is asking you, but it does mean a lot to our channel. Thank you once again for watching our 50,000 mile review of our Tesla Model 3, and we will catch you on the next video. And as always, thank you so much for watching.